Tired of the state of so-called popular music? Sick of searching everywhere for authentic bands and musicians?
Now you've seen how bad things can get and how quick they can get that way.
Got the overproduced, under-talented auto-tune blues?
Yeah!
Then keep it tuned. Real music is on the way. This is Almost Famous. Your home, the best local musicians, and select live performances.
Here's Johnny.
Here's John Shea.
Hour 2 of Almost Famous begins now.
And welcome to the second hour of Almost Famous here on 95.9 WATD. The time is 9:02. This is where you get to hear some live local music here on Almost Famous. We call it the Tiny Stage. Brought to you by Tiny & Sons Glass, Route 53 in Pembroke, online at tinyandsons.com, and Weymouth Bank, with 2 locations in Weymouth, 1 in Kingston, trusted by families and businesses for 125 years. In studio tonight, we are proud to have Sleeping Lion, Nate and Noah. Gentlemen, good evening.
Hi.
Good to have you here tonight.
Good to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
And thank you so much for jumping in kind of at the last minute here. We didn't have as much time to promote this as we usually do, but you guys did a great job. You made it down here to Marshfield, so thank you so much.
Appreciate it. We like the drive. It's very woodsy.
Excellent. So Nate and Noah, introduce yourselves and tell us who is Sleeping Lion.
So I'm Nate. Across from me is Noah. I'm from New York, and Noah's from...
I'm from... I was born in Washington, D.C., but I grew up in Rome, Italy.
Kind of a bit of a distance. Sleeping Lion... we were actually, Noah and I were both in a folk band for a little while called The First Law, and then we decided that, electronic music was sort of this fun thing that we wanted to check out and try out. So Sleeping Lion is really this duo down the middle. It's really production, lyrics, vocals, multi-instrumental collaboration, and so yeah, it's a duo, capital D.
That's great, and you just released an EP.
Actually, not yet. No, it's coming out mid-April.
Mid-April, excellent.
And it's called Patient Creature. But we recently released a single called Generous that people can check out.
Fantastic. Where is that available?
That's available on iTunes, and then of course Spotify and
Tidal,
and Tidal
all the
apparently,
relevance.
and SoundCloud as well.
Excellent. Well, let's not waste any time. Let's go right into your first song tonight. We have Sleeping Lion in studio tonight. What are you opening up the show with?
We're going to open the show with a song called Rug. It was the second song we released.
Excellent. 95.9 WATD, guys, take it away.
Okay. Oh, love, here's my forethought. It's been a fortnight. I need some more thought. To move the bed from your room, to paint your walls, and to yelling at you to be cool with it all. Oh, we had parents once. Oh, it could have been a rug. At least my brother's numb. Oh, it could have been a rug. Oh, it could have been a rug. Oh, love, you're looking at me like you want something. I want that enough to believe. Oh, I still think straight. My demon is a patient creature. He bides his time while he feeds on what I feed him and tells me I'm alright. No, I think you liked me once. Oh, it could have been a rug. At least my body's numb. At least my body's numb. Oh, we're waking up. Brother, life is long. Oh,
We have Sleeping Lion in studio tonight, 95.9 WATD, Nate and Noah. First of all, who wrote that song?
So we actually wrote most of the EP remotely while Noah was in Rome, and I was in New York. So he would send over these grooves, and I would write sort of lyrics and put them in a Google Doc, and it was like a bad Google commercial.
Yeah.
It was just he would Skype me. It would be 3 a.m. for somebody, and we.
Nate never got the time zone math.
I could never figure out the time zone math. I would end up being up pretty late, but I write usually I write the lyrics, and then Noah will write the groove, and we collaborate from there.
Nice. What's that song about?
So that song is sort of it's about an experience I had with some friends of mine where we sort of had this realization that we were grateful that the worst case scenario was not what was happening. That we sort of realized that we were grateful because we knew it could have been worse. It could have been a rug. That's how we put it. And so the song's sort of about handling like depression and family dynamics through a lens of like gratitude and realizing that life is long and you have the opportunity to make anything a positive situation.
Excellent. You're a great storyteller.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that the new sound is kind of electronic based.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go from originating with folk music to then being in an electronic vibe, and then taking that electronic vibe and kind of converting it back into the folk vibe, which you're playing tonight? How does that happen? Could you explain that process?
It's definitely been interesting. We used to busk on Newbury Street a lot, so we played a lot of these songs acoustically already.
Mostly out of necessity. That was because we didn't have material that we could do. I think that electronic music was sort of this logical next step for both of us. We're both nerds, and so
Me
I
too.
mean, the Sleeping Lion, was formed by me overhearing Noah working on a groove, and I thought he was a folk guy, and he thought I was a folk guy. But we listened to electronic music a lot. I think electronic music is sort of like how nerds can be as cool as possible without changing their lifestyle. And so it just sort of was logical. Noah really took to production in a cool way, and I really liked what electronic music and pop music could really do in terms of saying what you sort of had to side skirt with folk music.
Fantastic. We have Sleeping Lion in studio tonight here on 95.9 WATD. Let's open up the phone lines. If anybody wants to say hi to the band tonight, Nate and Noah, the number is 781-837-4900. 781-837-4900. What's the story behind the band name?
I hope a friend of mine's listening, because it's kind of funny. I used to make films back in high school. I used to make these short films, and my best friend's last name, who would act in the film, his name was Leone. And the first shot of the first film we ever made, he was sleeping on his desk, and so Sleeping Leone, Sleeping Lion. Leone is Italian for lion, so Sleeping Lion Films was or Sleeping Lion Productions that we called them. And so when we started doing, electronic production, it seemed like a sort of working title for, overall production. And then it just sort of, I think, didn't you say recently that you thought, like, we both thought it was a working title because we thought the other one didn't like it?
Yeah, essentially, it was a working title. It was like, I really like it. I feel like Nate doesn't like it, but I really like it. And Nate thought that I wouldn't like it, so he
because it was.
like,
I thought you thought it was like a film exclusive thing.
Right.
So I thought, and then we came to the sort of realization that we both kind of liked the name and that it stuck. But my friend, whenever he comes, he's like, my name is Leone, like Sleeping Lion, like the original, and we love it. I'm glad that our friends could be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's it's a great band name, and it just kind of fits your sound.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
So they kind of go hand in hand. I like that. Again, the number is 781-837-4900 if you want to say hi to the guys tonight. Nate and Noah live in studio. They are making up the band Sleeping Lion tonight here on 95.9 WATD. A reminder too that this show is being podcasted once we're done at 10 o'clock tonight. You can find the podcast up on the iTunes store. So check that out. Just search for WATD. Let's go into your next song. What do you guys have planned next for us tonight?
So the next song is actually yet to be released. It's on the EP, and this song is called Morning Coffee.
All right, Sleeping Lion on 95.9 WATD. Guys, it's all yours.
something about the way that you hate me. You'll call it all. Avoiding the choice to crave or to save me. You wanna talk, saying something about the way that you hate me. You'll call it all. Avoiding the choice to crave or save me. To crave or save me. Oh, 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 save me. Oh, 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 I wanna love, wearing nothing but the bracelet you gave me to wish me luck, and finding enough to say it or to save me. I wanna love, wearing nothing but the bracelet you gave me to wish me luck, and finding enough to say to save me, to say to save me. Oh, 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 save me. Oh, 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 oh. I'm still asleep. You're up to make your morning coffee, buried under your sheets, and I can't seem to get them off me. I wanna stop, I can't outrun these moments that made me. I'm in the way of seeing your way, and I'm okay if you can't save me.
Sleeping Lion on the tiny stage tonight here on 95.9 WATD. Nate and Noah, tell us the story behind that song.
So that song...
it was beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. I wrote the second verse over the summer, and I sent it, into the doc that we had, and of like the pages that we had, Noah ended up picking that one. Noah was like, "That's what I want to do." A song about. So I ended up writing the rest of it around it, and the song's about taking responsibility for why a relationship might not go well. It's sort of recognizing that sometimes you and your own ego can sort of be in the way of seeing the other person's point of view, and that two people can really just live their lives separately, and that's nobody's fault. And so morning coffee is sort of, the pun isn't really intentional, like waking up and smelling the coffee, but it's really about just, taking responsibility and maturity for the role you play in a failed relationship.
Great description.
Thanks.
So, Nate, you mentioned that you're from New York originally.
Yes.
How long have you been living in Boston?
We've both been living for about a year and a half.
And I asked you off air, but I'm going to ask you on air too. How would you compare New York to Boston? I had a hard time when I first came here because Boston isn't New York, and I think that I really tried to compare it a lot. The bagels, especially, and the pizza.
And the pizza. Yeah. But it really grew on me. I think that I had some friends who were from around here that really opened my eyes to it. And again, it's not New York, and that's kind of what I like about it. I love New York, but sometimes you need to take a break from it. And Noah, you're from Rome.
Yeah.
There are no Colosseums and.
Well, what's interesting about Rome is it's very beautiful and it's very historic, but there's an element of it that's sort of stuck in the past. And it was, I was born in America, but never lived in America. I lived abroad my entire life, and I was just excited to finally come back to America. And Boston, as a city, kind of has a European flavor to it. So there's a part of me that still feels at home here, even right when I got here. So
narrow streets.
Really liked, and streets that aren't organized on a grid system. They're just kind of going wherever they want to.
I miss it.
Now, were you actively involved in music in New York?
Yeah, actually, when I was 15, I started sometimes with permission, sometimes without, going to the Sidewalk Cafe on Avenue A and 6th Street, which is this like they call it anti-folk, which is kind of like very abstract avant-garde music and performance art. It's where like Regina Spektor and Beck first played.
Love those two.
Yeah, it was a very cool environment. So I was active in New York, and there was a very cool local scene around Westchester that I also tried to be a part of, the open mics and everything that were there as well.
Fantastic. And how about Noah? Were you active, in Rome and DC and all those places?
Towards the end of my time in Rome, I found a really nice community of artists in Rome. There's an Irish pub called the Fiddler's Elbow, and they had an open mic every Thursday. And I would go, and I was close friends with the person who ran the open mic, and he sort of really curated a community of artists. So I would spend a lot of time like playing with those people and just like shopping new songs, and it was really fun.
When I was 16, my family went on a trip to Rome and to Italy and whatnot, and they were looking for an open mic, and we ended up playing an open mic at the Fiddler's Elbow. And so when Noah visited over and mom, like as like a birthday present or something, she ended up getting a poster from the Fiddler's Elbow, and she framed it in the house. And so when Noah came to visit over the summer, he freaked out because he was like, how do you know the Fiddler's Elbow? It was very funny.
That's
it's a very
funny.
small world.
It's kind of ironic. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
We imagined that maybe we'd pass each other at some point,
Probably.
like accidentally.
That's wild. Wow. Jeez, meant to be.
As it goes.
It's really a small world.
Which brings me to my next question. Do you come from musical families?
My father played in bands pretty much his whole life. Early memories of just being in like these bars and stuff. And my dad playing moon dance.
Right.
My grandmother played classical piano and was my teacher when I was a kid. My mom is a theater teacher, teaches after school classes, and so musicals. I grew up listening to Yes and Pippin. That was pretty much the eclectic mix.
Nice.
Yeah, and my dad played guitar, so especially when I was really young, he would like sit in the living room and just play guitar, and I would like stare startled at it, and just like, what's that?
Excellent. Well, the time right now is 9:20. Guys, we have to take our first break of the night, but you have more songs for us, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We'll do that in a few minutes here on 95.9 WATD. Again, if you want to chime in, if you want to call into the show and say hi to Nate and Noah tonight, Sleeping Lion, the number is 781-837-4900, 837-4900, and you can talk to Sleeping Lion live on the air here on 95.9 WATD. We'll be back in just a matter of moments. We are brought to you each week by Tiny & Sons Glass, Route 53 in Pembroke, online at tinyandsons.com, and by Weymouth Bank, with 2 locations in Weymouth, one in Kingston, trusted by families and businesses for 125 years. And we are in the studio tonight with Sleeping Lion, Nate and Noah. And guys, how you holding up in there tonight?
So far, so good.
Excellent. Let's reintroduce yourselves, if you don't mind. Who is Sleeping Lion and who is Nate and Noah?
So Sleeping Lion is a electronic duo from Boston. It's made up of myself, Nate, and
myself, Noah.
And it's a duo with sort of a down-tempo style similar to like the Japanese House or Jack Garrett. We're doing everything acoustic tonight, but we're usually electronic.
Fantastic. And you've got a couple of shows coming up, right? Both at the Red Room at 9:39 in Boston. Let's talk about those.
We do. We have an April 15th show, which is a Battle of the Bands, actually for charity. So if you bring a can of food, that's your admittance, or I believe it's 2 cans of food.
Yeah.
So you get to do a good thing, but also, watch bands tear each other apart, of course.
Right.
And then April 21st, we're doing an original bands showcase with Maddie J and the PH Collective, which is one of my favorite bands at Berkeley. So,
which is my next question: is who are you guys following in the local music scene right now? Who are some of your favorites?
Oh boy, I'm really glad you asked that, because I always want to shout out our friends. The Walk Off, total awesome. That's not even English, but the Walk Off is amazing, and they have some new stuff coming the 31st. So definitely check them out. Bay Faction, Cordelia and the Buffalo, Wepro, who Noah actually plays keyboard for. I feel like now I'm gonna Maddie J and the PH Collective, Ava, AUVA. Beard, of course,
definitely.
Beard. Our friend Isaiah Beard is in a really
Dreamer
cool...
and Son.
Dreamer and Son, of course. Self-Portraits.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Ava Sapelsa.
She's cool.
She's
I've
great.
heard that name before.
Yes, of course. she's how we met, and also she's an awesome player in Berkeley. So I think I'm forgetting a million people, but that's who pop up.
How about on the national scene? Who inspires you?
Oh, so I mean, from my hometown, and the Traveler, West Meets West. We're doing a show with W.C. Lindsay, who's always been awesome. Let's see, Halsey is we're jumping a little bit, but Halsey has obviously been really really influential in this sort of movement of the sort of DIY electronic. Anybody pop into your head?
Nationally,
it's hard. We follow a lot of English like electronic artists.
This is true.
But yeah,
Sunlux,
Sunlux,
a New York artist.
And yeah, just the people. Safe Living is a cool band in Westchester as well. So, whenever you guys are around that area.
Fantastic. Again, Sleeping Lion live in studio tonight here on 95.9 WATD. Sounds like somebody's phone just got a text.
Oh, oops.
What's the website? Where can people find you online? What's your social media links and all that good stuff?
Great
Let's give those
question.
some plugs.
So sleepinglionmusic.com is our website. You can find us on Facebook/ Sleeping Lion Music. Our Twitter is at @slionmusic. Instagram is Sleeping Lion Music. SoundCloud is just Sleeping Lion. If you look us up, we're there. And of course, Spotify. We'd love it if you followed us on Spotify, because that's a platform that we're really excited about. Between playlists and the sort of community behind it, it's really cool. So those are our links, and of course our website again is sleepinglionmusic.com.
Excellent. We have them live in studio tonight. You're listening to the voices of Nate and Noah. They make up Sleeping Lion. Two shows they mentioned earlier: Battle of the Bands, April 15th at the Red Room. Also a band showcase happening on April 21st at the Red Room. Two chances to go see these guys basically within the span of a week. So no excuse. Go out to both. You might as well. Let's hear some more music. What do you guys have next for us?
So this was the first song that we released. It was our first single, and we definitely didn't expect what would happen from it. You know, it ended up getting a lot of support around the area that we are really, really grateful for. It's also going to be the first song on our EP. So the song's called You Made Me.
All right, Sleeping Lion, guys, take it away.
You made me love the sound of cars, frozen pond we waited on. You made me love the empty park, birds singing so far away. Oh, you made me love. You made me stay. You made me love. You made me. You made me love the quiet hum. Wait till the morning sun, the morning sun. The table set, but Dad is gone. Wait till the morning sun, the morning sun. You made me love the things I love. Wait till the morning comes. Kept me home. Morning comes. Made me wrong. You made me love. You made me stay.
if you let me. I could travel for miles and never stay still. Could burn every bridge that you beg me to build. And sometimes I think I will. I could be your fool if you let me. I could travel for miles and never stay still. Could burn every bridge that you beg me to build. Sometimes I think I will. I could be your fool if you let me. I could travel for miles and never stay still. Could burn every bridge that you beg me to build. And sometimes I think I will. I could be your fool if you let me. I could travel for miles and never stay still. Could burn every bridge that you beg me to build. And sometimes I think I will.
Sleeping Lion in studio tonight here on 95.9 WATD. Who wants to tell me what that song's about?
Probably Nate. He wrote most of the lyrics.
That was actually the first song that we ever like collaborated on, and it was sort of where we realized where the divide would be. Like, okay, I like writing lyrics kind of in a dark corner somewhere, but that song was sort of about the duality of the idea of you made me. Like, you can. There are these things that make you who you are. These things that you love make you who you are. But at the same time, they make you stay. They force you sometimes to stay somewhere where you might not necessarily want to be. And so it was sort of about this sort of positives and negatives of caring about relationships, caring about family, caring about friendships and yourself. Just having to sort of negotiate this thing that you are being built as a person, but at the same time you might find yourself rooted at the same, as well.
Great answer, great description. That was fantastic. That was the voice of Nate of Sleeping Lion. Nate and Noah are in studio tonight. Now, I want to go back to when you mentioned that you both came from a folk music background.
Yeah.
How is the writing process different when you are writing music, that is more geared toward a folk song than the electronic sound that you guys are producing right now?
Well, I think what makes the sort of project interesting is that, maybe it speaks out tonight, is that there's a surprisingly small amount of difference from the writing perspective.
Yeah, from a songwriting perspective, I wouldn't say it's drastically different.
Trying to get a clear idea. What I love about folk music is that a lot of the time there's a strong reason why that song exists. It's funny, like earlier I was just listening to like Times They Are Changing, like you know what that song's about.
Right.
So it definitely focuses my head to write it as if it was a folk tune, and then
I think that's one of the things I like most about Sleeping Lion is Nate still writes very much like a folk writer, which you don't hear a lot of in electronic music, and I think that gives us a nice edge. But the process of making the music is drastically different.
Of course,
for me.
Which is why, like, I think what's kind of funny is that I haven't personally felt much of a shift until I toss it to Noah and he, gets his nose in the screen.
Yeah, a lot of our demos are just Nate on the piano, and then I'll do things with them. Although what I like about electronic music is electronic sounds are a lot easier to shape and manipulate than recording guitar. Like, I love this guitar, but it's very hard to make it sound good recorded, whereas a synthesizer you can do all sorts of crazy and beautiful things with.
It's all in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I think, we still love folk music, and I think that taking when it comes to writing, when it comes to producing, I think a lot of it comes down to how well do you name drop. We could say that, okay, when we do this live, let's have a Simon and Garfunkel harmony kind of here, and that's how we're going to do this acoustic song. But for You Made Me, we could also say, all right, I want the ending to be more Lido. And, you're using a totally different genre to describe a sound, and so the palette completely changes. But I think the heart's still there.
And I noticed a lot of lyrics swapping, or like lead vocal swapping in your songs. How does that happen? Do you write that purposely, or does that kind of come to be in the mix?
I think that we sort of agreed early on that I sound very sad, and I think that Noah sounds really like suave and confident.
Like a John Lennon, Paul McCartney.
So a lot of our songs that are like more like angry or more like I hesitate to use the word sexy, but that kind of like vibe, Noah ends up singing. Then like the songs that I sing, like Rug, end up being more introspective and more personal and melancholic. And that's one of the reasons why we use like vocoders as well. A lot of times the vocoder will sort of be this electronic metaphor for that feeling. The more vocoder, the more we're sort of hiding behind it.
That's awesome. And it's really cool, too, that as a songwriter, you can actually kind of design a song that sounds better when somebody else sings it.
Yeah.
I think that was the big realization for us because we were both very solo. We both were very adamant about our solo projects. And so when we sort of realized that we were comfortable with each other singing each other's stuff, that was like, oh, like I could really work with this person. It was a big deal because I wouldn't let anybody touch it otherwise.
Yeah. Also, I know you're both here on the radio station tonight. You are no stranger to the radio studio, right? At Berkeley, you guys do a show there. Could you tell us about that?
Well, Noah's recently at Berkeley. We call them noobs or peeps. If you pass the threshold, if you do the training.
I recently passed the threshold.
So he's a recent peep. And I've had a show for the last 4 semesters called Film Folk, and it's been film music and folk music. And then some interviews every once in a while.
That's excellent. And how can we listen to that?
Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. It's theburn.com. And yeah, it's really fun and really nice because, like I said, when it comes to writing, I think the more you can name drop is those are your colors. Like the people who influence you is your palette. So having an excuse every week, and I'm sure that you can vouch for this as well, having an excuse to look up new music literally every week keeps that palette very colorful.
It does, and it keeps you inspired too.
Definitely. And it keeps you current. I think that this is our industry. Like, to know how somebody who's releasing something yesterday sounds is really powerful.
Fantastic. I've lost track here. How many songs have you guys done so far tonight, and how many do you have left?
4.
We've done 3. We did Rug Morning Coffee and You Made Me, so we have 3 more.
left. Okay, let's go into the next song. What do you guys have next for us tonight? Let's get all these in.
Okay, so the next song is called By Now You Won't. And so everybody's got to imagine like a horn section in this song, but we're doing it acoustic.
No kazoos?
No kazoos. I wish.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
You come over for the 3rd time this week, and though I know you well, it seems we barely even speak. But I tell you that I love you. You tell me you love me. The room is spotless. I doubt you'll spot the things you shouldn't see. And choose what you believe. If you don't know by now, you won't. 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 And I shouldn't know if you've done the same. But the noise I hear escape your mouth sounds like someone else's name. I don't know what I'm hearing. Could my mind be playing tricks? I know I've been unwell, but could I really be this sick? If you don't know by now, you won't. 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 Is it worth the overthought? Whether we care or not? Is it worth the overthought, whether we care or not? If you don't know by now, you won't. 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 If you don't know by now, you won't.
Sleeping Lion live in studio here on 95.9 WATD. My name is John Shea. This is Almost Famous, introducing you to local bands and musicians from right here on the South Shore, into Boston, and all over New England. The gentlemen we have in studio tonight, Sleeping Lion, Nate and Noah, come to us from Boston, students at Berklee College of Music. So, first of all, nice job on that.
Thank you.
Can you share the story behind that?
So usually we like to write. Personally, we like to write nonfiction. We like, at least as well as possible. But this song is the middle song on the EP, and I wanted something thematically that told so this story of 21st century love, which is just two people with their own agendas. And so By Now You Won't is about a guy who's cheating on his girlfriend, and sort of, if you don't know by now, you probably won't. And then in the middle of a moment that they have, he thinks he hears somebody else's name, and he realizes that maybe she's cheating on him too. And so it's the story of two people who are mutually cheating on each other, and sort of about, again, what I think is a really 21st century idea of, like, is it worth it to talk about, or are we happy? Is can we live selfishly together?
Great story.
Thanks.
So the EP is coming out when?
Mid-April.
Mid-April, excellent. And it can be found where?
It'll be found, it'll be full distribution, so Spotify, iTunes, the whole 9 yards. It will also be hopefully a premiere on a blog via SoundCloud. So keep your eyes peeled. But trust me, if you follow us on Facebook, you will know when it's out. We will be very loud about it, but be patient until.
Fantastic. And remind us of the Facebook link.
Yes. So if you look up Sleeping Lion on Facebook or Facebook/Sleeping Lion Music, you will find us. Follow, of course, and hopefully we'll keep you entertained.
Excellent. So you're both from Berklee. What has your Berklee experience been like so far? What have you learned? What are you kind of getting out of your Berklee experience so far?
That's a good question. I mean, Berklee is this incredible hub of insanely talented musicians and writers and producers, and I think everyone gets there and they're like, oh man, like, everyone's so good, like, how am I supposed to, like, make it here? And the past year and a half has really been about finding our place and finding our individual places in ultimately a very good environment for artists.
And I think what's been interesting is also just negotiating sort of this point of being Berklee students, but not necessarily wanting to be quote unquote Berklee artists.
Yeah.
I think that it's amazing how much creativity and how much talent ends up being inspired by here. But I'm definitely aware and nervous about. Would this be able to sustain itself outside of the classrooms, outside of the community here? And so that's something that we've definitely had to negotiate and had to work towards.
It's definitely the curse of the person studying their art to pick it apart to the point where they don't quite know how to make it anymore. So we've definitely been trying to ride that line between theory and practice. And
the industry's changing every day. So what's cool is that it becomes this sort of Socratic dialogue about. How do we do this? How do we actually make an impact in an industry that really couldn't care less about you? And so it's always fun. I think my Berklee experience is as much like in the classroom as much as it's been 4 a.m.s talking philosophy with friends outside.
Right.
We have very complementary majors though. You're
music production and engineering,
which is like engineering in a studio, whereas I'm electronic production design, which is and film scoring, which is arranging for strings and orchestras, which you'll hear like at the end of like Rug and stuff, but also building synthesizers.
Fantastic. And I didn't go to Berklee myself, but I've worked very closely with them here at the radio station and through many projects with this show. And what I love about Berklee is it's sort of more than just a school. It's more of a community. It's more of like a resource where you can, no matter what you're thinking about, there's somebody there who can kind of connect you or make a connection to somebody else in that school that can advance you forward.
And I think that we all have our our names on the tip of our tongue. I think that if anybody asks, do you have a bassoonist that you can recommend? It's like, well, we have a roommate, and or what bands do you like? Well, Bay Faction, The Walk Off, Beard, you can rattle them off because that's the network of Berkeley. And I think Hogwarts is an apt analogy.
I like that. That's a great analogy. I love that. We have Sleeping Lion in studio tonight. We do have to take a break in a few minutes here, but let's get your fifth song out to our listeners. What do you have next for us tonight? So
this song won't be released for a while. We play it live though, pretty. So you'll probably hear a lot of it. This song is called "Happy For," and so you guys are either hearing it here first, or you won't be hearing a release for a while. So enjoy.
All right, Sleeping Lion on ATD. Guys, take it away.
3 a.m. and I can't sleep. Turns out your girlfriend's got a problem with her heart, and she's up as well and she can't breathe. She's in pain and staring at me, and I'm thinking to myself, I got a massive sense of envy. Well, I know Geneva was hard, but brother, just you wait. There will be more and they'll be better someday. And I'll be there in my own way, left with my lonely snow days. I wish I could be happy for, like I was before, but I'm needing more than I got, and you got yours. Happy for, like I was before, but I'm needing more than I got, and you got yours. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. I'm your lighthouse, so glad you visit me. It's been a foggy night, but I got some light and visibility. And you tell me your stories about the love you started finding the moment that you stopped looking. And your boyfriend even visits me sometimes. He knows we're friendly and he friendly asks me for some good advice. And I'm just trying to be good and nice. I know he loves you right. I wish I could be happy for, like I was before, but I'm needing more than I got, and you got yours. Happy for, like I was before, but I'm needing more than I got, and you got yours. And you got yours. And you got yours. And you got yours. New Year's Eve 2015. Turns out my buddy's got a problem with his drinking. I'm thinking we've been ignoring since the year before. We haul him up the stairs and he cracks his head on the hardwood floor. Now I've lost some family, but I've never lost a brother. I saw you watching from the couch underneath the covers. It's been a long year, love, but here's another. Let's just be honest with each other. I wish I could be happy for, like I was before, but I'm needing more than I got, and you got yours. Happy for, like I was before, but I'm needing more than I got, and you got yours. Happy for, like I was before, but I'm needing more than I got, and you got yours. Happy for, like I was before, but I'm needing more than I got, and you got yours. And you got yours. And you got yours. And you got yours.
Sleeping Lion in studio tonight here on 95.9 WATD. What's the story behind that?
It's about all my friends doing well and me being upset about it. No,
all right.
No, it's about this sort of idea, and the phrase, like, you should be happy for be happy for me, be happy for me. And
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I'm happy for.
I didn't.
And I'm happy for both of you.
Thank you. Well, I think that it requires a certain level of personal independence and maturity to be able to be happy for somebody else. When even if your life is like if you're not entirely sure about certain things, I think it could be really hard to be happy for people, and I think that's a concept that's not necessarily explored terribly often. sort of selfishly being able to say, I'm not happy for you, but I will be eventually. I got to figure me out first.
Excellent. We have Sleeping Lion in studio tonight. We have to take a quick timeout, our final timeout of the night. But guys, you have one more song?
Yep.
All right, we'll do that in a few minutes. Don't forget, Peter Black and the Wide World of Blues comes your way next with Turntable Tuesday, taking you till 2 a.m. here at 95.9 WATD. One more song, though, from Sleeping Lion after the break. And we are back here on 95.9 WATD at 9:54 here on the South Shores radio station. A reminder, too, before we wrap things up, that our 5th anniversary show is coming up on May 22nd at the Spire in Plymouth. There is a link up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/almostfamousradio, has all the information. Don't have the ticket link quite yet, but hopefully tomorrow or Thursday we'll have that posted. Share it, come out, have a good time. It's $15 at the Spire in Plymouth. All proceeds benefit the Plymouth Boys and Girls Club. Also, this coming Saturday night, WATD doing a live broadcast from the Herring Run Coffee House, which is located at the First Church in Pembroke, the Big White Church right off the Common in Pembroke, with Matt York and Sparrow Blue. Thanks so much to the Music Box and Tiny & Sons Glass for making that broadcast possible. And also Saturday night at Studio G in Plymouth, Joe Merrick along with Ashley Jordan and Jay Pissarros are doing a tribute to classic rock. All that information we'll hopefully have posted up on our Facebook page. If not tonight, then tomorrow. Facebook.com/almostfamousradio. Last but not least, we have in studio Sleeping Lion. Guys, thank you so much for coming down to Marshfield tonight.
Thank you for having us. It's been awesome.
You sound amazing.
Thank you.
So one more time, let's plug the two shows coming up, the Battle of the Bands and the Band Showcase at Cafe 939.
April 15th, it's for charity, so 2 cans of food will get you in, and the louder you cheer for us, the more likely it will be that the other bands will leave.
Fantastic. I like that. You scare them off.
That's we have to roar really loud.
Awesome.
And April 21st.
April 21st, we have an original band showcase, which is going to be really fun.
And the EP, which is in the works right now, is being released
mid-April.
Mid next month.
Yeah.
And that can be found. Give your social media pages and your website another plug, if you will.
So Sleeping Lion Music is our website, and you can see all of our releases, news, our feeds for all social media, and all blog posts that were featured on. Then we have our SoundCloud, Sleeping Lion. We have Facebook/Sleeping Lion Music. Our Twitter is at @SLionMusic. Instagram is Sleeping Lion Music.
Mm-hmm.
And Spotify. You can find us on Spotify. Give us a little follow if you have a Spotify account, because Spotify is a really cool thing that we're excited about. So yeah, those are the medias, all the medias.
Excellent. And anybody you want to say hi to before we wrap things up?
Oh, definitely.
So many people.
Well, of course, Team 9, my friends Nicole and David, David inspired the name. He's the one who slept in the films and got the moniker. My family who's listening, and if any of the brothers in the walk-off are listening as well, shout out to them because they're great. What about you?
Shout out to my definitely sleeping family in Europe at the moment. Who'll eventually listen to this as a podcast.
Of course. Well, that's kind of the time zone math that eventually we'll have to negotiate. But thank you to everybody who's listening. It really means a lot to us.
Fantastic, and thank you for being here tonight. What are you taking us home with?
We're taking you home with Generous. This is the song that we just released, and yeah, it's the last song on the. Oh, it's not the last song on the record. It's the second song on the record. So I hope you guys enjoy.
All right, Sleeping Lion, guys, have a good night.
Up in your compulsions, swear they got the coolest textures, something like skin and technicolor. Tell me that you see forever, hanging on to every fixture of how I thought you'd always feel. Do you love me? Or are you just generous? Ooh, do you love me?
generous.
You're tracing words along my backbone, more poetry than prose, restless and composed. Love the way your knees look bruised when I slipped out of my suit, knowing I would follow you. And
do you love me, or are you just generous? And do you love me, or are you just being generous?
da 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 da